Every great change begins with a moment of realization, a point where you decide that enough is enough. For too long, being too nice has been mistaken for being virtuous. But in reality, it often becomes a burden that weighs down your true potential. Niceness, when unchecked, can lead to a life of compromise, where your dreams, your goals, and your values take a backseat to please others. The world is not kind to those who constantly put themselves last. In 2025, it's time to reclaim your power, your confidence, and your boundaries. The harsh truth is that the world respects those who respect themselves. When you are too nice, you unknowingly train people to undervalue your time, your energy, and your worth. You become the person who is always available, always agreeable, and always willing to go the extra mile for others. But how often is that kindness reciprocated? Rarely. This cycle of self-sacrifice doesn't make you a hero, it makes you invisible. People begin to see your kindness as a given, not a choice. Being too nice often stems from a fear of rejection. You don't want to upset anyone. You don't want to be seen as difficult. And you don't want to lose relationships. But here's the reality: the fear of rejection keeps you trapped in a cage of other people's expectations. You sacrifice your authenticity for approval. But ask yourself, is their approval worth the cost of your peace? Is their temporary satisfaction worth the long-term toll on your soul? True strength comes from balance. It's not about abandoning kindness, it's about pairing it with courage and self-respect. It's about understanding that your time is valuable, your energy is precious, and your voice matters. When you start setting boundaries, you will face resistance. People who benefited from your endless niceness will push back. They will call you selfish, rude, or ungrateful. But that's not a reflection of your character, it's a reflection of their entitlement. Think of it this way: every time you say yes to something you don't truly want to do, you're saying no to yourself. You're saying no to your goals, your growth, and your happiness. Life is too short to live for others' expectations. In 2025, you need to prioritize yourself unapologetically. This doesn't mean you stop helping others, it means you help others without abandoning yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Niceness, when overdone, is like giving away pieces of yourself until there's nothing left. You become a shell of who you once were, drained and unfulfilled. But here's the empowering truth: you have the power to stop this cycle. You have the power to say no, to walk away, and to prioritize your own needs without guilt. This year, commit to yourself. Commit to being kind, but not at the expense of your own well-being. In 2025, decide that your kindness will no longer be your weakness. Use it as your strength instead. Be kind but firm. Be understanding but not naive. Be giving but not at the cost of your own peace. This is your life, and no one else is responsible for protecting your energy but you. If you don't take a stand for yourself, who will? It's time to stop worrying about being liked by everyone. The truth is, no matter how nice you are, there will always be people who criticize you, misunderstand you, or take advantage of you. Why waste your time trying to win them over? Focus instead on earning your own respect. Focus on building a life that fulfills you, not one that pleases everyone else. When you're too nice, you become a magnet for manipulators. They sense your fear of conflict and use it against you. They know you'll go out of your way to avoid upsetting them, even if it means sacrificing your own needs. But 2025 is the year you break free from this trap. This is the year you stand your ground and refuse to be exploited. Being firm doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you a strong person. It shows that you value yourself enough to demand respect. And when you demand respect, you inspire others to treat you differently. You teach them that your kindness is not weakness, but a conscious choice. You show them that you are a force to be reckoned with, not a doormat to be stepped on. Don't confuse being nice with being valuable. Your value doesn't come from how much you do for others or how agreeable you are. Your value comes from your character, your skills, and your integrity. Being too nice often overshadows these qualities, making people see only your compliance, not your brilliance. In 2025, let your value shine, unfiltered and unapologetic. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's a way of telling the world I matter too. It's a declaration of self-worth. When you set boundaries, you protect your time and energy, which allows you to show up as your best self. You can't give your best to others if you're constantly drained, resentful, and overextended. Boundaries are the ultimate form of self-care. This year, make a promise to yourself you will no longer let guilt dictate your choices. Guilt is a powerful weapon that others use to control you, but it only works if you allow it to. Whenever you feel guilty for saying no, remind yourself why you're doing it. You're not rejecting them, you're choosing yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. 2025 is your year to evolve. To step out of the shadows of niceness and into the light of self-respect. This transformation won't be easy, but it will be worth it. You'll lose some relationships, but the ones that matter will stay. You'll face criticism, but you'll grow stronger. Most importantly, you'll finally live a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. By choosing to stop being too nice, you're choosing freedom. Freedom from the expectations of others, freedom from manipulation, and freedom from the endless cycle of self-sacrifice. This is your time to rise, to reclaim your power, and to show the world what you're truly capable of. You've spent long enough putting others first. Now it's when you decide to stop being too nice, you'll notice a profound shift in your life. You'll start to feel lighter, freer, and more in control. The weight of constantly pleasing others will lift, and for the first time, you'll prioritize what truly matters to you. It's a strange but exhilarating feeling to say no without explaining yourself, to decline an invitation without guilt, and to stand firm in your choices without fearing backlash. This is the power of reclaiming your boundaries. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped saying yes out of obligation. Think about the time and energy you'd save for your passions, your goals, and your personal growth. Being too nice often distracts you from your purpose. You become so focused on others' needs that you forget your own. In 2025, it's time to flip the script. Focus on your mission, your dreams, and your legacy. The world doesn't need more nice people, it needs more authentic people. Authenticity comes with risks. When you stop being too nice, not everyone will support your transformation. Some will accuse you of changing, of becoming cold or distant. But let them. Their opinions are not your responsibility. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. True friends and allies will understand and support your decision. The rest will either adapt or fade away. And that's okay. Growth often requires pruning. One of the biggest fears of stepping away from niceness is the fear of loneliness. But here's the truth: being surrounded by people who only value you for your compliance is a far lonelier experience. When you start valuing yourself, you attract relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. You'll no longer feel the need to bend over backward to keep people in your life. Instead, you'll welcome those who see your worth without conditions. In 2025, make it a point to redefine what kindness means to you. Kindness isn't about being a pushover or a people pleaser. True kindness is about showing compassion without compromising your integrity. It's about giving from a place of abundance, not obligation. It's about helping others while also honoring your own needs. Kindness should never feel like a burden, it should feel empowering. Let go of the idea that you need to be perfect to be loved. Being too nice often stems from a deep-seated fear of inadequacy. You try to compensate for your perceived flaws by overextending yourself, by being everything to everyone. But here's the reality: you are enough just as you are. You don't need to prove your worth through endless acts of service. The right people will love you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. The road to self-respect is not an easy one. You'll stumble, you'll second-guess yourself, and you'll face moments of doubt. But every time you stand your ground, you'll grow stronger. Every note you say will reinforce your boundaries. Every choice you make for yourself will build your confidence. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And every step you take is a victory. Stop apologizing for being who you are. Stop saying, "I'm sorry," for things that don't require an apology. When you apologize excessively, you diminish your voice and your presence. In 2025, practice speaking with conviction. Own your words, your actions, and your decisions. You don't need to soften your edges to make others comfortable. You are allowed to take up space, to have opinions, and to be unapologetically yourself. It's time to stop undervaluing your worth. Being too nice often goes hand in hand with low self-esteem. You feel like you have to earn your place in the world, that you have to give and give just to be accepted. But that's a lie. Your worth is not tied to how much you do for others. Your worth is inherent. It's time to own it, to believe in it, and to demand that others respect it. This year, challenge yourself to face conflict head-on. Avoiding confrontation doesn't make problems go away, it only makes them worse. Being too nice often means swallowing your feelings to keep the peace. But that peace is an illusion. Real peace comes from addressing issues directly and honestly. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's necessary. In 2025, embrace the discomfort of standing up for yourself. It's a sign of growth. Understand that not everyone will like you, and that's perfectly fine. Being too nice often comes from a desperate need for approval. You bend over backward to be liked, but at what cost? Trying to please everyone is exhausting, and it's a losing battle. Instead of chasing universal approval, focus on building a life that you're proud of, let go of the need to be liked, and focus on being respected. Start listening to your intuition. When you're too nice, you often ignore your gut feelings in favor of pleasing others. But your intuition is your greatest ally. It knows when something isn't right, when you're being taken advantage of, or when you need to walk away. In 2025, commit to trusting yourself more. Your intuition is there to protect you. Honor it. The world is full of people who will take advantage of your niceness if you let them. But it's also full of people who will respect and admire your strength. When you stop being too nice, you open the door to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. You set the standard for how you want to be treated. And when you respect yourself, others will follow suit. Every decision you make in 2025 should reflect your values and your priorities, not someone else's. Being too nice often means living your life according to others' expectations. But this is your journey, your story, and your legacy. Don't let anyone else dictate it. Take control of your narrative and make choices that align with your truth. This is your year to step into your power, to stop hiding behind niceness and start living boldly, to speak your truth, to set boundaries, and to demand the respect you deserve. The world doesn't need you to be perfect, it needs you to be real. In 2025, let go of the fear, the guilt, and the doubt. Step into your authenticity and show the world the incredible person you were always meant to be. In 2025, it's time to take ownership of your life. Stop letting other people's expectations determine your happiness. Being too nice often means sacrificing your dreams and goals to fulfill someone else's. The truth is, you can't reach your potential while constantly prioritizing the needs of others. You must carve out time for yourself, for your passions, and for the things that will push you toward your purpose. Stop waiting for permission to live your life the way you want to. People will always try to take advantage of your kindness. They'll ask for favors, lean on you for support, and expect you to drop everything to help them. But the reality is they won't hesitate to move on when it's their time to focus on their own needs. Your niceness is often exploited by those who only see what they can gain from you, not what they can give in return. It's time to stop enabling this behavior. In 2025, make it a point to start saying no, and watch how your life begins to change. The more you say no, the more you'll realize how much energy and time you were wasting. It's like being freed from a constant state of obligation and guilt. Saying no isn't selfish, it's a form of self-care. By saying no to what doesn't align with your goals or values, you're saying yes to your growth. Saying no creates space for things that matter. Things that are aligned with the life you want to build, not the life others want for you. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that being nice means being loved. But true love, whether from family, friends, or partners, comes from respect, not from constant sacrifice. When you overextend yourself in the name of kindness, you may think you're showing love, but you're actually showing weakness. Love should be mutual, not one-sided. If someone only values you when you're giving them something, it's time to reevaluate that relationship. Stop putting people's feelings before your own. Being nice often involves tiptoeing around other people's emotions, always trying to please them and keep the peace. But here's the truth: peace can't be built on lies or compromises. True peace comes from honesty, from setting boundaries, and from knowing that your worth isn't tied to how much you can do for others. In 2025, stop sacrificing your inner peace for the sake of someone else's comfort. You don't need to explain your decisions to anyone. Being too nice often means justifying every no with long explanations and apologies. But your time and energy are yours to protect, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for taking care of yourself. Stop seeking validation for your choices. Trust your judgment and stand firm in your decisions. You know what's best for you, and that's all that matters. Start saying no without guilt. The next time someone asks you for something you don't want to do, resist the urge to give in just to avoid conflict. You have the right to say no, and you don't have to apologize for it. You're not being rude or unkind, you're simply choosing what's best for your well-being. Remember, every time you say no, you are saying yes to your personal growth and happiness. Being too nice often means letting others walk all over you. You might think that keeping quiet and going along with things is the best way to avoid confrontation. But this passive approach only hurts you in the long run. You lose your voice, your confidence, and your sense of self. In 2025, it's time to stop allowing others to dictate your life. Speak up, assert yourself, and stand your ground. Your voice matters. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who try to please everyone. They're the ones who have the courage to say no when necessary, to set boundaries, and to prioritize their goals above all else. You don't have to sacrifice your ambitions to make others happy. In fact, the more you focus on your own growth, the more you'll be able to give to others in a meaningful way. You don't need to apologize for putting yourself first. Society often tells us that self-care is selfish, but nothing could be further from the truth. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of others. You can't pour from an empty cup. Taking time for yourself, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your own well-being are necessary for living a healthy, fulfilling life. If you don't start saying no, people will continue to take more than you're willing to give. When you're too nice, people start to see you as a resource to be used, not as an individual with your own needs and desires. You become the person everyone turns to when they need something, but when it's your turn to ask for help, you're often left hanging. In 2025, make it clear that you are not a tool to be exploited, but a person with value and boundaries. Being kind doesn't mean being a pushover. True kindness comes from a place of strength. It's about helping others when you can, but not at the expense of your own well-being. The world needs strong, self-respecting individuals who are not afraid to say no when necessary. In 2025, choose to be the person who stands up for themselves, who draws lines, and who values their time and energy. You will face resistance. People won't like the new you. They'll try to make you feel guilty, to manipulate you back into your old patterns. But remember, this is your life, not theirs. They don't get to control your choices or your happiness. Don't let guilt or fear stop you from building the life you want. Stick to your boundaries, even when it feels uncomfortable. In 2025, let your actions speak louder than your words. Being too nice often involves excessive talking over explaining, over apologizing, or trying to explain yourself to everyone. But actions are the true reflection of who you are. Stop explaining and start doing. Let your decisions, boundaries, and choices show the world your strength and your self-respect. Talk less, act more, and watch how your life transforms. You deserve to be surrounded by people who value you for who you are, not for what you can give them. If you're constantly giving without receiving anything in return, you're simply enabling unhealthy relationships. In 2025, take a step back and evaluate the people in your life. Are they adding value? Do they respect your boundaries? Are they lifting you up, or are they draining you? Surround yourself with those who respect your time, your energy, and your ambitions. It's time to take control of your own happiness. Being too nice often means letting other people's moods, opinions, and actions affect your state of mind. You can't let anyone have that kind of power over you. Your happiness is yours to create. Stop allowing others to dictate how you feel or what you should be doing. It's your life, and you are the only one responsible for your happiness. Being too nice is a mask. It's an easy way to avoid the discomfort of confrontation, of standing up for yourself, or of asserting your needs. But masks are suffocating. They hide who you truly are, and they prevent you from living authentically. In 2025, take off the mask and show the world the real you, the person who is worthy of respect, love, and success without having to bend or break. You cannot change the world by trying to please everyone. The world needs boldness, authenticity, and courage. It needs people who are willing to speak their truth, even if it makes others uncomfortable. You have something unique to offer, but you'll never get the chance to show it if you're constantly trying to fit into someone else's mold. Stop being too nice and start being true to yourself. Your voice matters and the world needs to hear it. Let go of the need for external validation. Being too nice often stems from seeking approval and affirmation from others, but approval doesn't lead to fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from within. You don't need to be validated by anyone other than yourself. When you start validating your own worth, you'll stop seeking permission to live your life on your own terms. You are enough exactly as you are. In 2025, stop settling for mediocrity in your relationships, your career, or your life in general. Being too nice often means accepting less than you deserve. You might stay in relationships that drain you, work jobs that don't inspire you, or put up with situations that aren't serving your highest potential. It's time to raise your standards. Demand the best for yourself because you deserve nothing less. The people who truly love and respect you will support your transformation. The ones who only valued you for your ability to please them may try to make you feel guilty, but that's a sign that it's time to let go. Real relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and trust. In 2025, prioritize those relationships that empower you and let go of those that hold you back. Start saying yes to your own needs. For too long, you've been saying yes to everyone else's requests, leaving your own needs in the background. In 2025, make a commitment to say yes to yourself. Yes to your goals, yes to your dreams, and yes to your well-being. When you start putting yourself first, everything else falls into place. You'll become more focused, more productive, and more fulfilled. One of the most powerful tools at your disposal is the ability to walk away. When you stop being too nice, you no longer tolerate toxic relationships, unhealthy environments, or situations that undermine your growth. Walking away isn't weakness, it's strength. It's an acknowledgement of your worth and your right to live a life that aligns with your values. Never be afraid to walk away from anything or anyone that no longer serves you. The world will try to mold you into something you're not. It will try to make you small, meek, and compliant. But you were never meant to be any of those things. You were meant to stand tall, to be unapologetically you, and to take up space in this world. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's idea of what's acceptable. In 2025, give yourself permission to be bold, loud, and proud. In 2025, it's time to realize that kindness isn't about being subservient or agreeable. It's about being firm, compassionate, and strong in your beliefs. Kindness is not about self-sacrifice or losing yourself for the sake of others. It's about showing up authentically, setting boundaries, and offering your support only when it comes from a place of strength. Be kind, but be strong. Be compassionate, but be unwavering. Stop fearing conflict. Conflict is not the enemy, complacency is. The fear of confrontation often keeps you stuck in situations that no longer serve you, but growth requires discomfort. It requires speaking up, standing firm, and setting boundaries that may not always be popular. In 2025, embrace the discomfort of conflict as a necessary step toward growth. Speak your truth even when it's hard. Finally, remember that your life is your own. You get to decide what it looks like. Being too nice means letting others make decisions for you. Whether that's about how you spend your time, who you spend it with, or how you pursue your goals. In 20